To use the camera app in your S24 Ultra, first, if you don't want to tap the camera app itself, maybe you're in the lock screen, if you double click the power button, so click, it's going to quickly bring you into the camera. On the lock screen, there is also a camera icon. If you swipe up from the camera icon, or you swipe to the left, it's going to open up the camera app. Inside of the app, we see our modes, and we can either tap to change the modes, or we can swipe to the left and right. Let's start in the photo mode. If you tap this white circle here, that's going to take a picture. If you long press this white circle, it's going to take a quick video, and if you release your finger, the video is going to stop. If you want to quickly record a video but go hands-free, long press the white circle again and swipe up until you see the lock and then release. Now you can record a video hands-free. If you want to take burst photos, which is a ton of photos at once, swipe down and you're going to see it's going to take a bunch of pictures. Maybe someone's moving and you just want that perfect shot, you can take it. This icon here, you tap it, it's going to flip. So you can see I'm now using the front camera. And if I flip again, we're going to be using the rear camera. If you see here, these are the different lenses. So if we tap, we can switch between them. If you want to have a precise zoom level, where the zoom is, swipe either to the right or to the left to change your zoom level. You can see you can go all the way up to 100 times zoom, but any zoom level works. If you wait, this zoom menu should automatically exit on its own, or if you just tap the empty space, you can see it will close out of that menu. Do note when you're in the front camera here, you only have two zooms. So you have the regular, and then you have the more space. You can't go in and precisely change the zoom level. At the top here, we have our customization. So we have the flash. You can either have it off, automatically turn on, or always turn on when you take a picture. You have a timer. This is a countdown before the picture will start. So if we set this to 2 seconds, when I tap the shutter button, there is a 2-second countdown before the picture is taken. You then have here the aspect ratio. If we tap this, we can change the aspect ratio. So 3x4 means 3 blocks to the right and 4 blocks down. This default option will capture the most that the camera sensor can. And if you change this, it will just crop the image. So it's got the 3x4 and it's zoomed it in. And now we have 9x16. So 9 to the right, 16 down like this. We then have the megapixels that the picture will take. So we see here 12 megapixels, and you can increase this to up to 200. The reason why this is not set to 200 by default is because the higher the megapixel count, the longer it takes for the picture to be taken. So 12 megapixels, I tap the picture button, you can see this is the preview and the picture is being taken immediately. But if I go to 200 megapixels, you can see there's a loading bar there. And if I try and take pictures quickly, look how slow that is. There's a big delay. And if I go to 12, look how much faster I can take the pictures. You then have here motion photo. If you turn this one on, it's going to take a photo and also take a short video. So tap the shutter button to take, and this here is your preview. And if we tap it, we can see our pictures. And if you would just tap the view motion photo, you can see the short video it took, but it has also taken a regular picture as well. You then have here the filters. So this just changes the colors of your image. So you can swipe across to change the filter and also the strength of the filter as well. You can also do face adjustments. So if I flip the camera here, you can't really see my face. So if I were to just put my face here, and we'll go to the face filters. If we turn this one on, you can see you can change how your face looks like. So we have the smoothness, the tone, the jawline, and we have the eyes. And so this will just change the shape of all of those. And the further the slider is, the more amount of processing it's going to do to your image. And we also have the color tone here. This is only available for the front camera, but you can change between natural and warm. You will also notice these double circles, they're yellow. This is the focus enhancer. This will just help the pictures look as crisp as possible. But if you don't want it on, you can tap this toggle to turn off the focus enhancer. When you are taking pictures, sometimes of, let's say, a pet, for example, there may be a pet icon that shows up, or if you're trying to take pictures of food, a food icon. That is just enhancing your image based on what the camera detects you are using. So if you were to tap the pet icon, it will turn off the enhancement. Maybe you want a more natural look. It will choose somewhere here. You tap it and it will turn off that post processing. Now let's move to the video mode. If we tap the white circle with the red, this is going to start a video. While we are in the video recording, we can change the zoom. And to those wondering, with the S24 Ultra, you can change the camera lens while recording. So I'm currently using the main sensor here. And if I tap the 0.6, we're now using the ultra wide. This is useful if you start recording and you want to zoom in, you're going to have the best zoom possible. You can also slide across to change the zoom as well. If you tap the screen, it's going to focus to a certain part of the recording. So if we tap here, it's going to focus on the table. And if we tap on the Galaxy, it's going to focus on the Galaxy. If we tap and then slide this brightness slider, this is going to change the brightness of our image. If you shake the phone or move it around and it loses focus on that particular object, that lock will go away. And if you do tap the unlock button, this will lock everything. So you can see it's going to lock your brightness level and your focus. And if you tap the lock, it will go away. You're going to see here, pause. If you tap the pause button, it's going to pause your recording. And if you tap again, it's going to resume your recording. If you tap this button here, it's going to stop the recording. If you tap this button, it's going to flip the recording. You can see the front camera right here. And then we'll flip it again. This button allows you to take a picture while you are recording. So we tap that and it will snap a picture. The picture quality, when you go through here, is not going to be as good as through the photo mode directly. You also have the flash at the top right. So if we go to the regular lens, and we tap the flash, we can turn it on or off like this. And that focus enhancer, you can turn this on or you can turn it off. So let's stop the recording here and let's look at the options we have. So we have the flash, we have the steady mode. The steady mode is not recommended to use it unless you are actively running, for example. So what this will do is, let's say you were moving quickly or you're running around, it's just going to reduce the amount of shake in your recording. The problem with this is it will also reduce the overall quality of your video. And you can switch between these zooms if you want. The reason why the quality is worse is because it will automatically zoom in your image. The preview will show you what you get, but it will be more zoomed in and the quality will just look worse. We then have here the aspect ratio. You're going to notice it's set by default to 9:16. This is the standard for video recording, but you can change this to 1:1 or have it record 21:9, which is the size of the S24 Ultra's screen. We then have the quality of the video. So we have here, by default, it's set to Full HD at 30. The higher the size, the more pixels are recorded, and this just means the video recording is going to look more crisp. There's going to be more detail in the recording. The higher the FPS, the smoother the video is going to look like. However, if you increase the size, you may lose the ability to record in 60 FPS. The higher the size, the more storage the recording is going to take up. The higher the size, the worse low light quality is going to get. So if you are in the best lighting conditions, I would recommend UHD 30 or 60. If you're in a lower light environment, you may want to drop this down to Full HD 60 or 30. This video is being recorded on my last year's S23 Ultra, and I personally use UHD at 60. However, I do have good lighting. What you use is up to you at the end of the day, but I would recommend UHD or Full HD, and the FPS, choose what you want. Do note that if we are at UHD, we are going to be limited by the filters. So the filters option is only available at Full HD. And so if we tap this here, you can see the filters. We can just change how the recording is going to look like. And you can swipe across to change the filter strength. If you don't use filters, then that should not be an issue for you. We now have the portrait mode here. So if I go to the front camera, what this is going to do is it's going to create an artificial background blur. So I'm going to snap a picture of myself real quick. And if we take a look at the image, you can see it's blurring the background of my face. And let's compare this to a regular photo. I'm going to snap real quick. So this is the regular photo. You can clearly see the, I don't know what those are, to be honest. And then you can see the portrait photo. Look how much more blurred the background is. This is not just limited to your face. If I go to the portrait here, I'm going to go to, let's say, 1x. If we go ready here and we'll take a picture of anything which is in the foreground, it's going to blur the background a lot. So the S24 Ultra box is in the foreground, and you can see the background is going to get that blur. If we swipe across, we have more, and you're going to see all of these extra modes. Most likely, you're never going to use these, but slow motion is going to slow your video down. Hyperlapse is going to record a speedy version of your video. You know those time lapses of the city where the cars move really fast? That is used with the hyperlapse mode. And Pro is Pro Pictures. Pro Video is Pro Video. You will notice there is a food mode, a night mode. What are those? Well, those are automatically used in the regular photo option. So you don't have to tap on the night button to take a night picture. The photo mode will automatically detect if it is night and do that for you. The same applies with food as well. If you find yourself using one of these modes a lot, tap the plus. And then we're going to drag and drop the mode we use. And then we'll tap on save. And now, without going into the more menu, I can tap, let's say, the Pro Video, and we can go into the Pro Video mode just like this. If you are someone who uses your S Pen, the S Pen can also be used to take pictures, record videos hands-free. So if I click the pen button, so if we click the pen button, you can see it's going to take a picture. If we are too close, it won't allow us to do so. This can also be used to start and stop video recordings. So I'm just clicking the pen button. If you double click the pen button, you can switch between the front and rear cameras. So click, 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 just like this. While holding the pen button, you can swipe to the left and right to switch between the modes. You can also swipe up and down while holding the pen button to flip the camera lens as well. Another way of taking pictures or starting to record videos hands-free is with your palm. So if your palm is recognized, there's going to be a countdown and it will take a picture or start a video. Sometimes you may notice that randomly a picture is taking or randomly a recording started. That is because the palm detection has detected something that looks like a palm, even if it's not. So if you've always wondered why your phone randomly starts to take pictures, that is why. Now let's go into the main camera settings. So tap either video or photo and then tap on the settings. In the settings, if you see videos, you swipe to the very top and now we see all settings. So intelligent optimization, if we go into here, we can change how much post-processing is done to our images. So if your pictures look weird or artificial, you can lower this, but for most people, maximum is going to be the best. You will notice scan QR codes, scan documents, these are all off and we can't turn these on. You need to go to the photo mode and then the photo settings and they should show up. If they're still disabled, change your camera lens to 1x and then you should be able to turn these on. We then see watermark. If you tap this, you can turn on a watermark. And if you tap the watermark text, you can customize your watermark here. Under advanced picture options, you can make your pictures high efficiency. It will reduce the quality, but it will save space. I would not recommend changing this. You can change the picture format from JPEG to RAW. If you edit your pictures, you may want to use RAW, but if you're not actively editing your images after they are taken, JPEG is good because you will have to edit RAW pictures, otherwise the colors may look weird. We then have here, save selfies as previewed. By default, if we see how I look, This is how I look. It's going to flip this image after it's taken. So I'm going to take the image here, and it's flipped my face around. So if we go to the settings and we turn on Save Selfies as previewed, the picture on the front camera is going to look exactly how I wanted it. So look where the S24 Ultra is. You can see originally it's flipped. Now it's in the same position. We then have here the video settings, video stabilization. If you're recording on a tripod, you'll want to turn this off as it will slightly crop in the image if video stabilization is on. In the advanced video options, this zoom in mic, you will want to turn this off. If you've ever recorded a video and you notice your audio sounds horrible, most likely you were zooming in, and as you zoom in, it makes you sound quieter, and the noise is far away, it makes it sound louder. But it just ruins things, so I would recommend you leave that off. HDR10 Plus videos. I'm recording this video right now on my S23 Ultra in HDR10 Plus. This will increase the file size of your recordings, but it will make the blacks really dark and the whites really bright. You can try this out, see if you like it. If not, turn it off. I leave this on personally, but you may want to turn this off. The other options here, I would recommend you leave as they are. Many of you want to use grid lines. This is in the general camera settings, and you can tap this to turn on or off your grid lines, and that is the camera tutorial.